Agree.
More Lucian. FLICKR. Show us how it's done.
All right, FLICKR versus G4. So we have, this is actually Phase Rush Rise, and it is double combat sums on both sides.
Yep.
So I actually played, when I was playing in the 1v1 tournament, and I was playing Quinn, and I played against a Rise. And he did a tank Rise build, and went Frozen Heart and this sort of stuff. So you can do builds like that where you think of Rise as this scaling champion.
Yep.
And he actually may be doing the Frozen Heart rush here. It could be Iceborne. It's actually Iceborne pieces, but or it could be just going into a Catalyst or whatever. I don't actually know what he's going to do, but you can go these tanky builds, and with your mana scaling,
a lot of damage. Lands the Q. Good barrier.
Okay, barrier for Ignite. That's actually preferential for G4.
FLICKR could almost get the kill.
Oh my god. Yeah, that is really close, that last tick. He's going to have to base right now.
Yeah. So this is lane preference for FLICKR here. G4 is going to try to regen with the potion.
I mean, if you could get on top of him, you can kill him because you have the barrier, but I'm just not sure that you can close the gap. So this is pretty ballsy for G4 staying around here. It does get tagged, and now FLICKR has a pretty big HP advantage. This is just so risky. You're hoping that you can bounce the E to him and push him back.
So that happened once. Yeah, if FLICKR ever dashes forward, you just slam barrier, you EWQ, and you're fine.
Yeah, but he has very little damage. This is an early game Rise with not a lot of AP, so you're not just going to one combo the guy. You have to be pretty careful here, but G4, is staying alive, is staying around.
But as long as you trim the wave, G4 has more health because of barrier. So I think FLICKR actually loses almost every all-in. As long as you can get Q, right? As long as the main
you have to be able to get the Q through. 100%.
This is too far forward! You made that a minions! Minions!
No, that's the last range. He's okay.
8 HP. 8 HP.
Not even close.
That was not worth it. He walked past me anyway, which is the reason you were going to win the fight.
Yeah.
If you no longer had minions, you're never going to win that fight against FLICKR.
Yeah, that was very, very close to being a first kill there for FLICKR. Pretty dicey for G4. He does survive, so let's see where he's going to go now. So it looks like he's toward the Lost Chapter. So just wanted the armor, the CDR, mana, kind of building an efficient item with that initial Glacial Shroud. FLICKR going to take away the HP pack and head on back to base. But you can do these kind of turtley builds where you would think, okay, well, why would you go Rise? That sounds terrible. But because the experience in the gold is so escalated, is so sped up, you actually are getting to a pretty strong point, right? This is not just going to be a level 1 Rise going up against Doran's Blade Lucian. You're going to hit high levels. You're going to have level 11 by the time the Ring of Fire spawns, and a full completed item plus some. So
yeah, you could do like Glacial Lutens, for example. Like the items right there, like go into Last Chapter. It's like that could be your build. You're obviously not going Roa or Tier. I think those items are always wrong.
Too long to stack up.
Yeah, absolutely. But Lutens is fine.
Yeah,
and that could be your build.
I think that would be a totally reasonable choice. And some of these strategies are pretty tough. You would say, okay, well, can't you punish the guy early? But Rise Wave Clear is very powerful, especially with all of the mana that he actually has from a build like this. Lost Chapter proccing every level, you're getting so much experience, and the Glacial Shroud, flat mana. You should be able to Wave Clear pretty much infinitely. So I don't think your turret really is under threat unless you're taking horrible trades and getting pushed back to base, which shouldn't really happen.
FLICKR sitting the brush though, trying to get out of bounds range. Goes, this could be a decent trade here. Doesn't go for culling. To be fair, G4 could have pretty easily walked away perpendicularly and wouldn't have taken too much damage. There's the culling now that Phase Rush is down, and that's really good aim. Again, forcing barrier out.
Back to base again. And FLICKR actually does create a lot of an experience advantage here, right? He was already level 7. He's closing on level 8. He may get level 8 on this wave, or not quite. He needs one more minion for level 8, but we still have level 6 here on his opponent, so very far ahead in experience. G4 should hit 7 here, and it will close the gap somewhat, but if you can be a level up, especially when you have a combat ultimate, if you can be level 11 versus 10 or something like that in a final fight, that could be very, very impactful.
Both these champions care about level 11. For FLICKR, obviously it's more culling damage. For G4, it's the damage amp of the E is based on R rank. Obviously you don't care about the teleport that much, but there's a damage passive on it, so you do care in this case.
Is he going back to Frozen Heart, you think? Or are we going to see another Tabby's Ice?
Yeah,
he's going back to Frozen Heart. So this is actually what I played against.
Okay, so it's Frozen Heart Chapter.
Yeah, this is actually, the same kind of thing. Because you can essentially get what is a very efficient anti-marksman build. You're very, very tanky. You have the passive shield. You have double combat summoners. So, if you can't actually slowly chip them down and utilize your lifesteal as an advantage, it can be very, very difficult once Rise has a number of levels to actually win what is going to be kind of like that full-on all-in. We'll see if FLICKR can find a way to really outplay it, but it's tough when you have that Empowered Rune Prison guaranteeing a couple rounds of those spells. And as we all know, as Rise gets more and more levels, because he's getting a lot of damage from his mana pool.
Yep.
You don't necessarily need to have a tremendous amount of AP to put out a lot of damage.
Nope. The mana ratios are good by themselves.
Yeah.
Obviously, it multiplies the AP that you bought as well, though it's not a whole lot right now. But it's some.
It's more than none.
It is more than none. It is a relevant number that adds up over time. Faker's got the Hex Shrink shield, but yeah, G4's pretty tanky right now, so looking for this trade. And yeah, that's decent damage. That's before press the attack. That's simply E auto Q. But you can see G4 trades it back and does more. Life over Faker's going to help, obviously. You can see that help coming back up.
And that's why we're seeing Faker trying to posture aggressively. I think he knows he wants, you know, when you're going for these lifesteal style builds, when you have essentially 3 lifesteal items, double warrants plus the NAM, you want extended trade. You want to whittle him down and have, you know, your health being kind of spent against his so that you can then heal up off the minion wave and look for that next fight that will be going more and more towards your way. The problem is, if G4 can just keep clearing out the waves and wait for that final recall, you know, you don't have to actually engage in any sort of fight because your turret is not under any sort of threat, right? You can actually wait it out and go for that final recall, that final reset, where you will then, hopefully for the Rise, be able to get a 100-0 type fight.
Yep. So it would have been an awkward recall for G4, chooses to stay after all. Goes in, nice damage here from Faker, can't get the third auto, means again the trade comes in, that's 130 HP gone. Faker has plenty of money in inventory, can get pretty close to, I mean, I would actually like to see a basic Last Whisper. That item in and of itself is actually quite efficient.
Yeah.
And in this build, where you're against probably a,
I don't know if Faker has enough time to recall anymore.
111 armor. He clears wave, he can recall, 100%.
Okay. Yeah, he can. He clears that a lot faster than I thought he was going to. So he's fine.
Yeah.
So they're both going to have their final items. So we'll be the Frozen Heart build.
Yep.
It's going to be Frozen Heart. We'll see if Faker does decide to go towards something like a Last Whisper, if he wants to go a different direction. It is Frozen Heart, double Dorans, as well as that Lost Chapter.
Just trying to wait for like a null magic. Like he's got a couple seconds and he's like, not enough time, can't do it.
You know, this is such a small thing, but you could actually sell your refillable and grab a couple health potions, because those do heal more.
I think you're capped at 2 potions, but you're right, there's still more health.
Yeah, they give 150 back instead of 100.
Yeah.
Again, very small thing, but something
theoretically it can matter.
It could matter. And you know, when you're trying to go for one of these fights, so in the end, yes, Faker has a little bit of gold advantage, but G4 can just wait this out. You can hang out. He does actually have his health pack still available, so he's gonna have the current health boost right now. And that Ring of Fire is closing, so Faker is going to have a tough time cutting it out.
Slow, but the wave is already gone, so the minions are helping on G4's side now as well. Good trade, though. G4's in 2/3, taking 4 good damage, and he's not going to culling until the minion wave is gone. He's letting him confuse, and now as the Ignites are on, looking for the culling. Really good sidestepping through the barrier, dodges the Q. Faker, perfect mechanics in that fight.
Yeah, Faker pulls it off. Why did G4 go for it early, though? The Ring of Fire is almost there. We keep seeing people wait the whole time for the Ring of Fire to spawn.
Yeah.
Why don't you just wait the extra 20 seconds when Faker's pinned in with you?
Yep.
Instead, G4 took the all-in. Faker got it at the perfect time, had the Blade of Rune King, gets the active off, dodges out a lot of those Rise skill shots, and connected with so much of that culling. He didn't even need to use the barrier to take down G4.
Either time. Felt like he was constantly ahead. Well done to Faker. I always like seeing Faker
I'm
run.
impressed.
I like seeing Faker when he's not playing Zac mid.
You know what I think?
What?
Faker might be better than me, because I lost to the Frozen Heart Rise.
You know what? That's fair. I think Faker might be better than me as well. I've never played against that matchup, but...
Can't be proven.
Axe, what's your move replay? Look at this one. Faker takes 1 Q. There's the east side steps the 1.
Yeah, and he had already dodged a Q earlier on.
Whoop.
It dodges another Q with the dash. Faker just played this perfectly.
Yep.
He had the barrier still available, so really he won with quite a bit of a health advantage. G4 really, it seemed like he wanted to fight very heavily for the minion wave. He wanted to clear out those minions, have the minion advantage, I think, to be able to make it so that Faker couldn't hide behind any of those cannons or anything for the Q block.
Yeah.
So he really traded aggressively for that, but Faker took that opportunity. As soon as G4 was spending spells on the minion wave, Faker was already on top of him, getting damage out on the Rise himself. And, you know, Faker just finding the opening as he's known for. I mean, he always makes it work.
He always does make it work. Next match.